make that money because it could go, and we saw that with Pi, where it went and then it just dumped really hard, and everybody's thinking that it's gonna, go crazy, and it didn't.
No.
Like I said, and that's where the emotional side comes in, because let's say it gets listed, whatever coin you're mining, and it gets listed on an exchange with talks of other listings. So there's that carrot dangling that it went 500% and now it's going to go to 5,000%, and you don't sell any of it. But in my opinion, again, not financial advice, sell some, and hopefully it gets listed on the other exchanges, and then you already have some and you can sell it some more. But that's one thing that's one of the most crippling things for any kind of person, especially miners, because granted, it's not free, and I love the fact that you can have a machine and it's making coins for you. Like it's like magic. It really is.
Yeah. The best way to dollar cost average in my opinion. Yeah. If you're trying to prove that method, you pick up an ASIC and you dollar cost average into whatever crypto coin you're trying to do.
Right.
But I totally agree. Take profit. I am being a lot more disciplined right now, and I have markers. I have a spreadsheet of prices, and when those markers hit, I'm taking at least some profit, something. That is definitely key.
Yep, no, agreed. And I'm just going to bring this up here because BC, love BC, man. He's 100% right here. The government, like, who gives a crap? At the end of the day, and we touched, ironically, BC, Bedell and I touched on this a little bit last night toward the end of our stream, where we were talking about taxes and that kind of thing. And it's like, who cares at the end of the day? Because it only matters if you're using centralized exchanges, if they've ID'd your wallets, that kind of thing. And what do I know? Joe, that was a good point. And Jar, thanks for chiming in on that, because man, Jar lives that life like every day, literally with that. So
I'm in my basement and I cry in the corner over there often. Just waiting for this market to pick up. Yeah.
But Joe, is there anything else you want to just mention to everybody about what you got going on your channels, that kind of thing?
Yeah. So basically every night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, I go live. I talk about trading. I talk about the thought process behind the trading. For me, it's extremely important to discuss the who, what, where, when, and especially the why. Why we're doing what we're doing. There's a lot of traders out there that will just, give a setup and then that's it. But if you want, to know how to do it, well, then you got to pay for their group. I explain the why, the reasoning behind the potential thought process behind the moves. And then the next day we go and we see if it played out. Sometimes it's extremely accurate, which is almost scary. And then sometimes I'm way off. And then whenever I am extremely accurate, I make sure to point out where I was way off, so that people don't think that, oh man, I know.
Yeah.
And
part of what I love about you.
Yeah, if I was doing the whole, false promises and empty promises and everything like that, then I wouldn't show where I was wrong when I was extremely accurate. But that's one thing I do all the time. I show, and I talk about losses, because as a trader, you're going to lose. And again, extremely transparent, because I want traders to know, hey, this guy is real. Like he wins, he loses. And for me, I talk more about the losses, because again, the emotional side, the psychological part of trading, nobody cares about the wins. Wins is like, who cares if I made money? The thing is, one, I show you how to make money, not financial advice. I always have to say that, not financial advice.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when you lose, like that's when it comes into the psyche, as far as,
that's what makes it real.
I lost the trade, and I don't even think I could be doing this, or maybe I'll go in harder, or maybe I won't use this stop loss. And it's like, no, like you're gonna lose. You're going to.
Yep.
It's
set yourself
guaranteed.
up.
We don't want it to happen, but it's gonna.
And a shout out to Wick's wife, first off, with what she said here, which absolutely, Joe, he's the man. I mean, at one point, I could contact this guy pretty much any time of the day, night, morning, whatever, and he'd be responding within minutes. Don't know how he did that. God bless you, man. But then, I'm assuming she's speaking or asking about like in crypto, with crypto, that kind of thing is the,
Yeah. So my biggest fear, and then I'll get to the crypto one. My biggest fear is rats.
There you go.
Rats.
There you go.
Like mice, okay. But rats, big old fat rats, oh, that's my biggest fear. My biggest fear in crypto is my wallet's getting compromised. That's my biggest fear. So what I do to protect that, I have like 8, maybe even 10 email accounts. And for each exchange, I have different emails for that exchange. For websites that I join up for whatever newsletters, I have a different email. So that if for whatever reason somebody catches an email, they can say, oh, your Bybit account has been compromised. It's like, that's not my email for Bybit or, another exchange. Like, I know I don't even open emails. I don't click on links. I get a lot of messages on Telegram for, different exchanges wanting me to partner with them. And, I don't click on links. I don't download PDFs. I'm extremely careful on my computer and my phone too, for that matter.
It's not like the experts have consensus that this is the way it's going to go.
No, this is kind of off the beaten path from what we were just talking about, but maybe you want to address this. This seems to be a common question, not just with regard to Dash, as he's asking here, but with Bitcoin and all this other stuff.
He employs several like PhD cryptographers, and what he has told me is the more high-level quantum experts, it's one of those weird things where all the high-level experts on this subject have wildly different conclusions. Like, it's not like the experts have consensus that this is the way it's going to go. The experts, the more expert they are, the more they disagree with each other. So it seems like what we do know is quantum computing is theoretically going to be a thing that can do all this kind of stuff. The unknown it's also unknown. It's not what I would say 100% known that this will become 100% a problem in the future. I think it'll become like 90 something percent, but there's still a lot of vagueness. How long does it take till we get some sort of a breakthrough for this to be a thing? Seems to be like the more reasonable range is like the 2 to 10 years, or 3 to 10, I would say. So there's a couple of things that the thing about quantum computing is if it's able to actually undo modern cryptography in a practical sense, then everything gets wrecked. All basic encryption for bank passwords, for everything, the entire internet gets wrecked. So you will need to do something about it at some point. So I guess the thing is, if you implemented a post-quantum cryptographic scheme today, first of all, you'd have risk that it gets broken through something non-quantum, but also that it becomes just massive and clunky, and all your nodes overheat, and it becomes super expensive to use, and then it just fails for those reasons. Then a year or two after, there's some breakthrough that everyone jumps on that is efficient, and you're stuck on the old one. And you have to like scramble to try to change it out, and like. Again, that's why I think a lot of people are kind of like waiting and seeing what comes out, and I think that the scramble won't really happen until we start to see some, like, someone gets a quantum computer and starts breaking some algorithms and stuff, and then just says, "Hey guys, it's happening," and then everyone scrambles, and so it's a very serious issue conceptually, and it's just that today it's still, I think it's not the number one problem we have to deal with crypto today. Let me hit you with the dark side of things. The AI age has really changed things forever. Where if you think about how like privacy works, you think about any little tidbit of information about you can give everything away. So, and for a while, you could just use crypto, and as long as you didn't tell people it was you, and you didn't KYC, no one knew it was you because they just didn't know how to look. But now just about every single pattern can be analyzed. So like, let's just say you can just bulk analyze all public blockchains and say, all right, which ones originated from US IP addresses, which ones originated from these ones, and you just sort of collect that data set. All right, timing analysis, what time of day, what time zones do they correspond to? So if someone's like sending it like 4 a.m. all the time consistently from a US IP, it's probably a VPN user. All right, put that in that bucket. And then you're like, okay, this amount here. Well, we know this came from Binance in this amount, and then it went dark. But we kind of think that there could be almost this much money that got withdrawn in Litecoin, let's just say, from all exchanges at some point. And then, well, as soon as you start to like cross out some of those, then you're like, well, this group, this has to be that one person because of this. And then someone's social media post says, you know, hey, thanks for the Litecoin, whatever. And then they timestamp it, figure out where you live, and okay, correlate it all. There we go. We got a profile. And you can just do that over and over and over again with compute. You just start running it all through. And it's not like, oh, the LLMs are out now that can do this, so therefore anything I did before was private. No, everything you did before is
because they go back and scoop it up.
All that past data, the Bitcoin blockchain again goes back forever, and like all this stuff could come back to haunt you. And so like today, like I'm not even saying like 2 years from now, I'm saying like next year, you know, let's just be careful about what we put out there. And so I don't want to make people be like, oh my gosh, this is terrible, I'll never be able to do, I can't even use any of this stuff. You should, but just be careful how you use it. Do everything as privately as you can. And more importantly, we need to build privacy tools. We need to use privacy tools, and we need to throw money at privacy tools and just keep growing and growing and make sure the privacy tools are usable and they don't like suck to use, so more people use them.
I give them the option, but people don't listen.
Yeah, well, facts. That's a fact.
But yeah, no, it's if I could go back in time and mentor myself, I would punch myself in the face until I admitted I need to use a paper trade or $1 trades until I'm consistently profitable, because otherwise it's gonna hurt a lot. So I just tell people the truth.
You know what? Best way to be, man. You ain't nobody gonna be, you know, pissing on you when you're being honest. Even
so,
if it's global.
You mentioned meme coins, and Solana is like known for that. Is there like a platform or a crypto chain that you prefer to work with, or is there one that has an advantage versus another? What do you spend the most amount of time?
I'm pretty random with it.
Okay, so nothing
like Solana. I have 24/7. I have a Solana short and a Solana long running.
Yeah,
small size, laddering both ways, and they take turns printing. It's kind of like a Wing Chun Kung Fu thing. Just kidding. But yeah, and then I'll just hunt them. I'll hunt the whatever's like. I'll use the RSI heat map screener on CoinGlass, and then I'll just top down the 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minute, 5 minute, and I'll look for coins that are heavily overbought and oversold on multiple time frames. And then I'll chart them, check the momentum indicators, oscillators, and see if they're at key levels like previous month high, previous month low, all that stuff. Previous day high, previous day low, previous week high, previous week low. Anchored VWAPs from extreme highs and lows. And maybe like the 50 or the 100 or the 200 moving average set to the daily chart.
The claim is going to be 0.05 SOL. So you're going to be able to claim the SOL token. 1,540 out of 2,000. So yeah, about 75% there. Yeah, it went pretty quick. And if you haven't done it yet, I would definitely do it soon. The claim window was set for 48 hours, but it's going to go before a day for sure. This is, I think a lot of people signed up for this app recently because there's only 1,000 people when I first looked. But yeah, they boosted, they got attention. I really like the way that they did this. There's no crazy hurdles that you have to do in order to qualify for the airdrop.
Which is nice. I mean, it's an airdrop. You know what I'm saying? It's nice when it's just simple stuff that you got to do. And hey, the real K Diggity is in the house. Appreciate you being here, man. Yeah, love you, man. Appreciate you being here. Okay. Okay, I'm not putting Tech Man's comment up there. Oh, there we go. All right. What about anything else? I mean, the DeFi space, DePIN space rather, seems to be kind of like right now. I mean, am I wrong? Am I just reading it wrong?
No. It is a great purge that's happening right now in the DePIN space. It's a lot like the movie. Everyone's just getting slaughtered one by one, and projects are going down. And it is necessary to have this. It's real value, real utility. Real projects are the only ones that will probably survive this downfall because they just don't have the capital to survive in this down market. There's just monthly costs that are ongoing, and quite a few projects are folding up shop right now. And it's I welcome it. Like it's sad to see because there's some projects I thought could do it, like Wayru. I really did think that they were building on the right fundamentals, but it just didn't work out. On the positive side, projects like Wayru are open sourced, and the hardware that they deployed, and if you purchase their hardware, they have a post on GitHub where you can flash the access points or the routers and use them for your own use. They're not dedicated, they're not scrap, they can be repurposed. So that's a really big deal.
That is good.
If you're already in that project, I like when they do that, because you never know, right? Things happen pretty quickly in this space.
Yes, and I don't know if you have an answer for this.
Shoot.
From Glasshopper.
You don't see the claim button. Okay, it's there right now. When you're in the Seeker Club, which is a group inside the app, there's a details button at the top. If you click on that, that's where you'll see all the claim information. If you don't see that, then maybe you didn't connect with your Seeker wallet. I'm just going to assume that. Otherwise, I'd recommend messaging the team, because I'm not affiliated with them. I'm just sending out messages as I see them to Seeker fans.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, people have been loving you for staying on top of all this Seeker information and so on.
It's the only thing I got entertaining right now. It's a bloodbath and everything else. Seeker is the only thing that's a little bit entertaining. People are winning in this right now, so I really like seeing people getting their claims in there, at least making something off of this phone.
Well, there you go.
How about you, CCM? I've been talking a lot. How about you? What's going on your side?
I love when you listen. I was talking when you weren't here, man. Listen, it's the same. I feel like I'm on the treadmill, pretty much. It's the same stuff for me. Tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. It'll be the next drop in my Crypto Mindset Minutes series. I'm continuing to break down the different core aspects of our current financial fiat system. Tomorrow, geez, I don't know. I've recorded so many to get them set.
You have.
I think tomorrow is inflation, if I remember correctly, where I break that down. So make sure you're there for that. I try to make it simple. I try to use that series to keep everything within a 30-minute explanation.
Yes.
And try to break it down into 3 sections. I give the straight skinny. I call it the no hype section. It's like, here's the facts, man. Like that TV show, Just the Facts. That's it, just the facts. And then I go into the my take. So that's when I get opinionated and I sometimes go off the rails a little bit on different topics. And then your move, because I figure what good is all this information if people don't know what to do with it? And if you're just going to listen to the information and not take action, well, if it's just an information dump, unfortunately, that's what usually happens. So in that your move section, I try to point people to different things, different education, whatever it happens to be, cryptocurrencies, gold, silver, platforms, whatever, to help them to, as I put it, escape the system.
It's a lot of information. I've been watching a lot of your videos that you're posting. Very detailed. It's a lot of information, and you're condensing it in a digestible way. So it's a great way for people to pick up on that. And you also link your resources, which is also very helpful.
Yes. I try to keep that up. And I have an entire, for those who don't know, I have a website also, cryptocoinmindset.com. On that website, I put together a My Toolbox page. So as I add new tools and stuff to what I do here in the crypto space, I add it there. So it becomes like a central hub where if anybody wants to know what was he talking about, boom, you can go there and it'll be there with links to get you to their official sites and that kind of thing. And then, of course, on Friday, Crypto on the Rocks, 7 p.m. Eastern time. You can't be missing that. Yeah. I'm not sure. I was... Tell me what you think about this, Jar. Here we go. We'll and in the chat. Go ahead. Give me your feedback. Because I try to put a theme to every Crypto on the Rocks, right? I mean, we don't always stick to that theme, but I try to at least start with a theme.